My wife hates when I do this, but I tell her it's a good thing. All right, here's the story. Every few months, I lose my credit card. No big deal. You call the bank, cancel it, they send me a new one. Easy, right? Well, Marianne says it is a big deal because it also happens to be the card attached to several automatic payments. But I love it. Within a couple days of canceling the card, we start getting notices that begin with the words action required. If you want the service to continue, we have to update the card. It's wonderful because inevitably we forget we were paying for something in the first place. And in fact, we don't want that particular service to continue. Now, this is not meant to be financial advice, but I thought it makes a great analogy for life. How often do you press the pause button on everything you're doing and decide for yourself which actions are required and which ones no longer are serving you? Instead, they're costing you precious time and money. Well, let's do that today on the next Simple Step podcast. I'm Paul Goldsmith. Do you ever get anxious about how you're spending your time? It's a non-renewable resource. We've only got 24 hours every single day. And once today is done, it's over. Do you ever lay in bed at night wondering where the day went, regretting you didn't do more? I certainly have been there, and I've learned you've got to hang up the cape and stop trying to save the world. Or to quote the mystic Rumi, yesterday I was clever, so I wanted to change the world. Today I am wise, so I'm changing myself. You are only ultimately responsible for how you show up in the world, what you do with the resources, gifts, and time you've been given. You can't control anyone else, and why would you want to? It's exhausting. It's hard enough to actually control yourself. So even if you have kids, as much as you may want to, even as they grow older, you don't get to control them, especially if you love them. Love is non-controlling. They can break your heart, probably will at some point, but you have to let them make their own decisions, their own mistakes. I'm coming to grips with this myself. It's hard. But if you want them to become adults that think for themselves, they've got to make their own choices. And the best you can do is influence them by setting an example of what it means to live with intention and purpose. When you become an adult, no one tells you, then it's your job to parent yourself. And you are the only one qualified to do so. I'm passionate about this. I want to see you get healthy mentally, physically, and spiritually, and stay that way. It's all connected. And I want you to stay in the game for as long as you can. I've seen too many people just check out. I want you to show up and be the best version of yourself today, tomorrow, and for the rest of your life. And you don't have to live up to anyone else's standards or expectations for yourself. It's you versus you. As well-meaning as they may be, other people want you to live up to their standards, but that's none of their business. What are you called to do? How are you showing up to love and care for yourself, your family, your friends, and do meaningful work every day? What action is required in your life? I've learned there's a term in gaming for the characters in the game that aren't controlled by an actual person. They're called non-playing characters, NPC for short. Too many people are walking around real life being non-playing characters, avoiding discomfort as much as they can as they go throughout their day. But I believe you were meant for more, not merely to be comfortable. Comfort is the enemy of progress. It's the quickest way to settle and be an NPC in your own life, letting others call the shots, to be passive and watch other people do cool things that are challenging, whether it be content creators on YouTube or authors of your favorite book or action heroes in movies. It doesn't matter. Whatever or whomever you are vicariously living through, use that as your guide. How can you take action to pursue that life, that dream? Who do you need to become to be that kind of person? What action is required? Think about that for a minute. If you're feeling discouraged or overwhelmed, just start with the next simple step. Imagine everything in your life falls into one of 4 buckets: work, relationships, fitness, and recovery. And then take 10 points across all 4 areas. That's all you get, 10 whole numbers distribute them across all 4 areas, totaling up to 10, and then spend some time critically looking at whether you are allocating energy in the right places, and then set your goals accordingly. Now, I got this 4 quadrants of life concept from Dr. Andy Galpin, and I think it's wonderful because if your allocation of energy is not where you'd like it to be, change it. It's so illuminating when you write down your numbers and realize there aren't enough. You can't put 10 in every area of life. If you put 5 in work and 4 in relationships, that doesn't leave much left over for fitness. You get 1 for recovery and 0 for fitness, and then you're going to burn out. You're going to not have enough energy to work or be there for your family and friends if you aren't taking care of your health and fitness. If your 4 quadrants of life are out of alignment, write down how you're going to change it, and then write out specifically what you commit to do to make that happen. So for example, if your relationships are a 2 and you'd like them to be a 3, write down what you commit to do differently. Maybe it's inviting 2 friends to coffee each week, or planning a weekly dinner date with your spouse. Commit to it and schedule it. What gets scheduled gets done. And it turns out that living a life of intention takes effort. What next actions are required for you to be on the path to live your life to the fullest? You don't have to cancel any credit cards, but perhaps you could look at your schedule for the month ahead and commit to prioritizing your life accordingly to your values and your ideal balance of work and relationships, fitness and recovery, because no one else is going to do it for you. It's your life. If you're looking for a coach to help you get unstuck and take the action required to live your life so you don't have regrets at the end of your day or your week or even your life, send me a text, 559-574-3210, or click on the Next Simple Step Coaching at nextsimplestep.com to schedule a free discovery coaching call. As always, thank you for listening, and I'll talk to you next time on the Next Simple Step Podcast.